The killings in Orlando renew a contentious debate, especially when it comes to weapons with the power and force the type used in this and other attacks, now burned in our national memory. Aurora, Sandy Hook,
We heard gunshots like 20.
San Bernardino,
Shooting at my work, people shot. Pray for us.
now Orlando. Senseless acts of terror perpetrated by different murderers acting on different ideologies, but with one thing in common: an AR-15 style rifle.
This is the Sig MCX. Put the 30-round magazine in. When it's done, pop the magazine out, get another magazine, and load it. Boom.
In the wee hours Sunday morning in Orlando, this gun, the Sig Saucer MCX, was part of a shooting spree that killed 49 people and injured 53 more at Pulse Nightclub, the worst mass shooting in American history.
The Sig MCX is here, and it's
This is a commercial for the MCX, a so-called assault rifle. And in Florida, as well as 39 other states, it's extremely easy to obtain. No special license is required to purchase one. And you can buy this type rifle and bring it home the very same day.
You could purchase this Sig Sauer rifle, and depending on how quick the state gives you the background check, you could be out of the store in 10 minutes with it.
The Orlando shooter cleared that background check, a controversial subject now that the FBI announced they'd interviewed him for possible terrorism links. But this purchase was perfectly legal under Florida law.
He passed the background check that every single person that purchases a firearm in the state of Florida undergoes.
Now, many questioning if these laws need to change, as our weary nation faces yet another series of vigils, tears, and senseless loss.
We Americans are capable of both protecting our Second Amendment rights while making sure guns don't fall into the wrong hands.
Democratic presidential contender Hillary Clinton calling for a new assault weapon ban in the wake of this shooting. But in Florida, many are saying the guns are not the problem.
If there had been other guns inside there, the shooting could have been stopped sooner.
Mike Piowarski owns the Arms Room in Orlando. He's agreed to show us the ins and out of the AR-15.
The AR-15 is the generic term for all rifles that come from the M16 military family of weapons. Collapsible stock. I could use it for hunting. I can use it for competitions. I can use it for personal defense. I can use it for a wall hanger if I want to.
In his store, we meet several women who are there to buy handguns.
I'm here to buy guns so I can protect myself.
Let me get you to start filling this one out for me.
We watch as this woman fills out a self-reported form, part of the background check Mike will run.
The two that we're always concerned about that don't show up on the background check when you enter it into computer are the, have you ever been adjudicated mentally defective, and have you ever renounced your United States citizenship?
Mike is also opposed to the call for an assault weapons ban.
The Second Amendment was created so the individual can protect himself from a tyrannical government or use it in self-defense. They wanted you to have like weaponry, and that's the reason military-style weapons should be allowed in the civilian market.
Of course, there was already a federal ban on assault weapons in America, enacted in 1994 during the Bill Clinton administration, partially in response to a tragic school shooting in Stockton, California. The law expired in 2004.
The combination of the large ammunition magazine and the gun is an absolutely lethal combination. And that's exactly what we saw play out in Orlando, and it could have been prevented.
Richard Aborn is the president of the Citizens Crime Commission of New York City and one of the architects of the federal assault weapons ban.
There are many who will argue that the ban that expired did not reduce homicides in this country.
These tend to be mass murder weapons. During the 10 years while the ban is in effect, those shootings go down by half. In the 10 years after the ban lapses, the number goes up, goes right back up, almost 3 times. And if you layer on the last 2 or 3 years, it goes up almost 4 times. So that ban was absolutely having an effect.
But many studies argue the assault weapons ban of 1994 was largely ineffective, including a 2004 study submitted to the U.S. Department of Justice, stating we cannot clearly credit the ban with any of the nation's recent drop in gun violence. This past December, an ABC News Washington Post poll found that, for the first time in 20 years, a majority of Americans oppose banning assault weapons, many believing that armed citizens can help combat lone wolf attacks. But in a nation where mass shootings are nauseatingly commonplace, many critics, including the New York Daily News, are placing blame squarely on the NRA. The NRA, whose website is littered with videos of semi-automatic firearms, has actually dubbed the AR-15 America's rifle.
The gun is so widely popular throughout the country that it could more appropriately be called America's rifle.
The National Shooting Sports Foundation estimates there are roughly 5 million to 10 million AR-15s owned in the U.S. And the FBI data shows these weapons account for a very small fraction of America's 30,000 annual gun deaths. This is part of the NRA's argument against the assault weapons ban. But many critics say the group has also blocked largely popular gun reforms, like universal background checks.
The chair asks that the House now observe a moment of silence in memory of the victims of the terrorist attack in Orlando.
Yesterday, frustration against moments of silence over any kind of action made its way to the congressional floor.
Silence. That is how the leadership of the most powerful country in the world will respond to this week's massacre. Silence. Not me. Not anymore.
Yesterday, Connecticut Congressman Jim Himes walked out of a session.
This is a debate that no longer happens in the realm of fact. It happens in this realm of anger, where Wayne LaPierre of the NRA tells his people that the President of the United States is hell-bent on taking their guns. Fear is a powerful and warping sentiment.
On Twitter, an employee of a progressive think tank mocked the sympathy messages of pro-gun political leaders by retweeting them and disclosing how much money they receive from the NRA.
The vast majority of Americans, I suspect, are kind of like me. I support the individual right for an American to own a gun, but I recognize that like every other right we have, there are going to be some restrictions on that right. We could allow our citizens access to weapons, but do it in a much smarter way that would save a whole lot of lives.
Too late for the 49 lives taken in Orlando. No doubt there'll be more in this debate in the days and weeks to come.